Okay, I'm sharing the video. Not video, sorry, but my presentation. Okay. So today we will continue speaking, discussing motivating function. After the last presentation, I do hope that you remember the main definition of motivating, that it is a process of moving oneself and others to work toward attainment of individual and organizational objectives. Also, I do hope that you remember that just a moment, that everybody thinks about her or his needs, and your task as a manager is to help your subordinates to motivate, to satisfy their needs through working for your organization. And also, I do hope that you remember that there are two types of need which could be satisfied, and these needs are psychological and physiological. And also, there are also two types of reward. Intrinsic reward, which is connected with the nature of the activity. So it means that your subordinate likes to complete some organizational function. And extrinsic reward, that is anything which could be provided by you for your subordinates. And keeping in mind everything mentioned, we are continue to speak about modern motivation theories, and we will begin with content theories of motivation. We are beginning with the first group of motivation theories. На русском языке это содержательные теории мотивации. Within these theories of motivation, we will speak about Abraham Maslow theory, about the theory of Frederick Herzberg, and about the theory of David McClelland. There are more theories, but I think it is wasting of time to speak about other theories. If you understand these three main content theories of motivation, you will understand the general idea of all content theories. So let's begin with historically the first motivation theory. Abraham Maslow, he analyzed all needs, and firstly he wanted not to present some motivation theory, but firstly he just thought about needs of every person, and generally he divided all the needs into 5 groups. These groups are the following: physiological needs. The first, the second is safety and security needs. Physiological needs, it means that we are like animals, we need food, we need water. Safety needs these needs mean that we want to have all our physiological needs satisfied, not only now but also in future, and also we want these needs to be satisfied not only for ourselves but also for people who are connected with us. For example, if you have children, so in this very case you want these physiological needs to be satisfied not only for you but also for your children. Then the third level is social needs. It means that we are all not like animals but social animals. We need somebody to communicate. I wanted to say to speak with somebody, but you have to understand that speaking with somebody is only one way of communicating. Who can set us an example of other ways of communicating not connected with speaking? Please, you are welcome. Yes, students. Okay.
Like texting, some emails, maybe.
I don't hear you. Could you say a little bit more louder?
Texting, like sending emails.
Yes, for example, sending some emails. Okay, what else? Dear students, what do you think? Is it possible to communicate with somebody who you don't know?
I think it's possible.
And what is the way?
Through emails, chatting, maybe like this.
No, but when you are sending an email, you are sending this email to some particular person. And theoretically, there are a lot of ways of communicating with people who you don't know them. Actually, you don't know in the phrase, you don't know, I express that it's not the case that you are sending, for example, your CV to some company and you are sending this CV to some particular person. I mean, for example, to the head of HR department. But theoretically, it is possible to communicate to somebody. You don't expect this person even to read or to react to your message. What are the ways of communicating in such way?
Well, maybe through some newspapers, magazines, maybe
For
advertisements.
example, great, thank you, Inna. For example, it is completely possible to publish an article in the journal. Yes, what else?
Like объявление.
Yes, some also some notes, some yes, but actually it is rather, you begin with rather difficult ways. But for example, when I'm recording our lectures and when I'm sharing it in my YouTube channel, is it possible for somebody else to watch it? What do you think?
Yes, I see.
Yes, sure. What do you think? Is it a way of communicating?
Yeah, it's like visual way.
Yes, great, great. So just I want only to begin with the we will speak about instruments of communicating a little bit later, in 2 or in 3 weeks. But now I only want to stress that there are a lot of ways of communicating, and using internet, you can share the information in a lot of ways by, for example, setting some blog, by sharing some video, by publishing information in some chats. Thank you, Daniel. So there are a lot of ways of communicating, and generally nowadays communicating doesn't mean like direct communicating, like person to person. No. Nowadays, for example, if speaking about me, it is rather difficult for me to communicate with a lot of person. I prefer reading, I prefer staying alone, but generally there are a lot of ways for communicating for such people as me, for example, to publish some scientific articles, so a lot of ways. But generally we all are social animals, so it means that we do have this need, but we can satisfy this need not only through direct communication with somebody. Fourth group of needs, esteem needs. It means that we want somebody to respect ourselves, and we want to have some achievements, and we want to be proud for these achievements. And the fifth group of needs, which was mentioned by Abraham Maslow, was self-actualization needs group. It means that every person wants to complete some activity which he or she likes. So it is like self-actualization. I like to do it. Abraham Maslow not only mentioned these groups, but he built the pyramid, and at the first level, so generally he used the order mentioned in previous screens. So he built a pyramid from these needs, physiological, then safety and security, then social, then esteem, and then self-actualization. And it is the second idea of Abraham Maslow. The first that he just mentioned. This group, he divided all needs into these 5 groups. And the second and the most important idea of Abraham Maslow was that he built a pyramid. It means that he mentioned the order of satisfying of the needs. It means that, and also he divided all the needs into primary and into secondary needs. And the main idea of Abraham Maslow was that if a person didn't satisfy primary needs, it's not possible for a manager to satisfy the person with secondary needs. So, for example, if your salary is not enough for feeding yourself and your children, it's not possible to motivate you, for example, with social needs or with self-actualization needs, with providing a more interesting job. Firstly, you will think about the fact that you are hungry and your children are hungry. Only then, only having satisfied this need, it is possible for you to think about something else. And just a joke, some students are adding to primary needs Wi-Fi and battery for battery charger for your smartphone. This is the same information which I just have discussed it with you. That firstly, we as a managers, we have to provide the ways for satisfying lower level needs, and only when we have to provide our subordinates with satisfying high level needs. Generally somebody can think that we can satisfy all needs, but as you might remember from our previous lecture, all psychological needs, we learn these needs from our experience. That's why process of needs motivating behavior never ends. It means that from our experience we can gather, we can find some new information, and we have a bigger number of needs in future anyway. Believe me, even in an hour, maybe you will have some another information about, I don't know, about new place, for example, on the earth, and you want to visit it. You didn't know about this place before, but for example, you find that it would be very interesting for you to visit it. So in an hour, maybe somebody will have another dream, another need. This hierarchy, this pyramid has some how to say, obstacles or some exceptions. It means that we couldn't say that we have to totally satisfy the needs and only then we have to think about the next level. No, in some cases we can they can satisfy the need just partly, and even through partly satisfying the need, it is possible to think about the next level of needs. And how to use all this information in practice. And generally, you as a future managers, you should to connect in your mind every need with a possible way to satisfy these needs. And through the behavior, you have to understand, I'm reminding you once more, that through the behavior of your subordinates, all objectives of your company must be attained. And we will discuss just the upper level of needs, because in today's life safety needs play relatively minor role for our society. So we will speak about the higher level of need. Let's begin with the third level, social needs. Social needs means that, okay, I will hide the next screen. I think you haven't managed to read all the information. What is the possible way to use social needs of your subordinates and for your company, and what rewards should be provided if you keep in mind social needs, satisfying of social needs? What do you think? How it is possible for you as a manager to provide some reward with the help of social needs, with the help of satisfying of social needs for your subordinates? What do you think? Just silence. Dear students, please don't be afraid.
Maybe to provide some gifts.
Sorry, I don't hear you.
To provide some gifts.
For example, great. Okay, what else?
To increase the salary.
No, increasing salary is not a social need. Now we are speaking about only about social needs. So we need to communicate. I will remind you. So all we are social. We want to be in society, and in some cases it is possible to satisfy these needs through work. How it is possible?
Maybe company can sponsor some sport events or something like this.
For example, some team spirit, some event, okay, and within the event, people will communicate with each other. Okay, what else?
Доска почета.
A little bit more louder, please.
Hall of Fame, I don't know how it translates.
I'm really sorry, I don't hear you. I don't know why. I will. Okay, I don't. Maybe it is some problem with your microphone or with my speakers. I don't know. Okay, sorry. Okay, so there are some examples how to use social needs for high motivation. First, we can design jobs that allow social interaction. So, for example, you will. It is possible to set a task not for every person, but for groups of persons. Then it is possible to create team spirit. It means, for example, that Masha says it's completely okay that, for example, we can provide some group activities not connected with our works. Then, if speaking about me, I hate meetings, but I know a lot of people who like meetings as a part of their job. Then, if we see that there are some informal work groups within our company, and if we think that it's not dangerous for group for our activity, in this very case, we will keep it. How I will set you an example when some informal groups could be harmful for our company. It is the example from the experience of my friend. He met the situation that he was and he's CEO of a rather big company, and when he came to this company, it was a tradition to celebrate every birthday. And you know, this company was a rather big factory, and you know that it is a Ukrainian tradition to drink some alcohol when celebrating birthdays. And at his the staff of his company was about 500 person, and it means that practically every day he can see drunk people at his factory. You know that it is the next like unpleasant tradition in Ukrainian terms, that it could be celebrated not at the end of the day, but after the break, just after the break, in the midday. So the first rule was he signed the order that every month, every first Friday of the month is like a birthday day, and from the afternoon it is possible to celebrate all the birthdays of person who were born within the month, and it is the only way to remove this problem. Okay, and the fifth is some outside social activities. Okay, it could be anything, it could be some trainings or something like that. The next needs are the second level from the higher needs, or the fourth level, generally fourth level within the pyramid, the needs connected with esteem. It could be providing more challenging tasks. It means that your staff will feel good that it is possible for him or for her to complete this task. Positive feedback on performance, it means that you as a manager must say, okay, I saw that you really performed this task. The third, involving subordinates into goal setting and decision making. It is, there are a lot of positive emotions connected with the process. Then you can delegate additional authority, additional possibility to use some resources of organization. You can give some promotions, and you can organize development for your subordinates. And generally, there are in the right bottom corner, you will see some infographics connected with satisfying the need of esteem. And the fifth level, or the third level of secondary needs, is connected with a situation when the person likes to attain objectives, likes to do what he or she does. So to satisfy all these needs, you just have to understand what the person likes to do, and delegate the tasks for this very person, which, how to say, which help the person to complete the activity he or she likes to do. There are I wouldn't say that these problems this theory has a lot of problems. Generally, this is the first theory of motivating. That's why we can say that Abraham Maslow is really God. Oh, we have to say thank you, Abraham Maslow, because he was the first who began to think about motivating as a function of management. But there are a lot of, I would say, not problems, but a little bit weak points within the theory. Firstly, it's not always we have this order of needs. Then all we are different people and we have a little bit different needs. It could be more important for somebody to have some social activity, and for somebody else it could be more important to satisfy his or her esteem needs, for example. So we have to use, anyway, we have to use contingency approach when thinking about Maslow theory of motivating. The second theory of motivating, which will be discussed today, is McClelland need theory. David McClelland decided to divide all the needs into three groups. As I told you when speaking about Abraham Maslow theory, nowadays the situation is rather good in our society, so we don't have to analyze primary needs. So we have to analyze only secondary needs. And David McClelland also divide all the higher needs into three groups, but he, how to say, he named it a little bit in a different way compared with Abraham Maslow. He divided all the needs which could be used by managers for motivating the subordinates into power needs, into achievement needs, and into affiliation needs. Power means that somebody likes to influence others, and if you provide a position as a manager, for example, vice manager for somebody, it could be also a piece of motivating. The second needs of achievement, needs for achievement, it means that everybody, it is pleasant to feel that we have performed some activity. So in this very case, if you stress the successful completion of some work, you will motivate your subordinates. And to use these need, you have to keep in mind that you have to set not very high degree of risk, because if the degree of risk is very high, your subordinates will be afraid of working at some task. And affiliation needs means that it is pleasure to be a part of some organization. For example, I don't know, for me, it is a pleasure that I'm working at HPE for the best students for you. And our university is really well-known organization, so I'm really proud for working for for such organization. Maybe you know that according to some lists, we are in the 5 best universities within Ukraine. So it is in this very case, I'm satisfying my affiliative needs. Okay, I see that I have only 3 minutes. Let's make a break and we will continue in, let it be in 6 or 7 minutes, because I need to solve some technical problems. So please follow the same invitation in 7 minutes. Thank you. Now it is a break. Let's continue. Let's continue. The third theory within content theories of motivation was developed by Herzberg, Frederick Herzberg. I mean, third, historically, the third. He divided all the factors which could be used as factors with the help of which managers motivate their subordinates into 2 big groups, into regional factors and into motivation or motivators. The most idea of Frederick Herzberg was the following, that it's not possible to motivate people with the help of some factors, but absence of these very factors could lead to dismotivating. For example, is it possible to motivate you as a manager if you hear, okay, please, we are inviting you to this position, you will have your own PC. Listen to me, you will have your own PC on your table. And in winter, it is rather hot it is warm in our office. It will be possible for you to work without your hat. And you will have your salary twice a month. So there is no delay in salary, in paying the salary. Is it possible to motivate you with the help of such factors? No, completely no. But if you don't have these factors, for example, if working conditions are not appropriate, for example, you don't have a good PC, you have an old one, and it is awful for you, and you will ask your boss to change it. And if your chief will say no, it will lead to your dissatisfaction. And to increase motivation, to increase your satisfaction from job, you have to use some other factors, and Frederick Herzberg named these factors as motivators. So here is the description of the previous picture. So I will Okay, I will tell you one more time. That it's not possible to use hidden factors for motivating your subordinates, but anyway, however, you have to use these factors to prevent dismotivation, dissatisfaction for your subordinates. The criticism of this theory is connected also with the fact that we have to use contingency approach because everybody has different needs. It is the first thing, and the second thing that there is no strong correlation between satisfaction and productivity. For example, with the help of this picture, you can see the situation that a person consider that talking to coworkers is more important than getting work done. So there is a typical situation that a person likes to communicate and doesn't think about her or his obligations. We finished, and I told you that we have to use contingency approach to all motivational theories. But it's not the end of motivation theory, and we have to think about something else. And the answer to these questions is laying within is laying beyond all content theories. So content theories from this screen, you can find that generally we are dividing all needs into some groups, and Maslow and McClelland stated that there are some groups and we have to use it, and Herzberg said that there are two groups and we have to use the first group to prevent satisfying the needs or dismotivating, and we have to use the second group of motivators to motivate the people. So all these theories connected with the needs of subordinates. But there is something else. Please set me any example about something which must be also mentioned by a manager when thinking about motivating his or her subordinates. A manager should think not only about the needs of subordinates, but about something else. About what? Think about it. It is very, very important for you to set at least one example for yourself. Please. Okay, I thought you tell me just something, but okay, I will help you. I will help you as I'm your tutor. Okay?
If I understand, you're asking why I should think to motivate my staff. Is that
no, Completely wrong, completely wrong. I'm asking that a manager should think not only about the needs of his or her subordinates, but about something else, not only about needs. Not only about needs, but about something more. About what?
Maybe about some wishes.
Actually, you are playing with words. Wishes, needs, it's generally equal. You have, for example, as you are my boss, Maria, I have some, it is in this situation, all these words are synonyms. Some needs, some targets, some wishes, and for example, if it is very important for me to have, I don't know, to have some, let it be some financial reward. It is the most important for me. And you will have to think only about this reward proposed for me or about something else, not only. It is a question for everybody.
Maybe you mean some health insurance.
No.
That given.
Maybe it is not your problem generally, but it is my problem that I didn't manage to set a right question for you. Okay, with the help of the next part of our lecture, I will try to answer to this very question. So, it is possible to answer to this question when discussing the process theories of motivating. Процессные теории мотивации. Within these theories, we will speak about two theories, about expectancy theory and about equity theory. So we will speak about something more than just needs. So let's begin with expectancy theory. This theory has such a formula that every worker thinks, please follow the picture at the bottom part of the screen, that every subordinate has to invest some effort to have some performance. Then after the performance is achieved, he or she wants to have some reward, and this reward must be valuable for this person. And generally within this scheme we can speak about these three very important interconnections: effort performance, performance outcome or reward, and valence of outcome or valence of a reward. Just a short explanation. The term valence in Russian, it is translated as valentность. It doesn't have any connections with chemistry. Just the same word in another different, in another meaning, in another different meaning. Just so the first, effort performance. It means that every subordinate must feel that it is at least theoretically possible to perform, to attain some objective and to perform some task. And it must be clear for you that it is highly connected, correlated with the smart technology of setting objectives. So any objective must be attainable. So if somebody feels that it is possible, at least theoretically possible, to attain some objective, he or she will work for your organization. If he or she doesn't think that it is even theoretically possible to complete some task, will she or he work for your organization? No. So the first part, that every subordinate must feel that at least theoretically possible to complete some task. If he or she doesn't feel that it is theoretically possible, is it possible to motivate this person with providing something else? For example, if I motivate you for preparing some presentation in Chinese and then reporting it, even if the prize is very good for you, you won't do anything because you understand that it's not possible for you to complete this very task. So your motivation will decrease. The second part within expectancy theory is performance outcome expectancy. It means that every worker must be sure that after successful completion of the work, he or she will have some reward. Is it possible to cheat with somebody? Yes, but only once. Yes, only once. If you promise some reward and then do not provide it, next time it won't be possible for you to motivate your subordinates in such way. So everybody must be sure that he or she will be rewarded. And also, if you as a manager have cheated with some person, so he or she won't believe you, and it won't be possible to motivate this subordinate. And the third component of the theory is that every reward must be valuable for a person. It must has a big balance in terms of expectancy theory. So I have, as a subordinate, I must think about this something as about valuable thing. Without it, I won't work for my organization. And the most important formula is within expectancy theory is the following: that the motivation is equal of multiplication of three components: effort, performance outcome, and balance. And there are two very important outcomes from this very formula. The first outcome is the following: why we used multiplication. If we have some formula with multiplication, and if any component of the formula is zero, is equal to zero, what is the outcome of the formula?
Zero.
Thank you, zero. So if, for example, the first component is equal to zero, if your subordinate doesn't think that it is even theoretically possible to complete some task, is it possible for you to motivate it with some big reward Or is it possible to motivate the person with the fact that you will provide this reward 100%? Is it possible?
No.
No, thank you. The second component, if the second component is equal to 0, if we don't believe that, if our subordinates don't believe that the reward will be provided, theoretically, it is he or she will think that yes, theoretically it is possible to complete this task and the reward is really good. But if he or she doesn't think that the reward will be provided finally, will he or she try to perform his or her task? No. And the balance, if you provide something unvaluable, something without value for your subordinate, will they work for you? No. So if any component of this formula is equal to 0, motivation is also equal to 0. It is the first outcome of this formula and the second outcome of this very formula. In this very formula, all content theories is hidden. Where? Please analyze this formula. Please think. I'm providing you with a tip that within one component there are all content theories of motivation: Maslow, Herzberg, and McClelland. In which component? Okay, I will help you in the last one. When we are speaking about Maslow theory, we are speaking only about valuability of some rewards. We are speaking about satisfying the needs. So we are speaking about balance in terms of expectancy theory. But Maslow didn't think that everybody must be sure that theoretically it is possible to attain the objective, to perform the task. So he didn't state that every objective must be attainable, and he didn't think that everybody must be sure that theoretically it is possible to attain, have this reward after successful completion of the task. So all these previous theories are hidden in the last component of this very formula. But it must be clear for you, it must be obvious for you that we have to think, we as a managers, I mean, we have to think not only about the reward, but we have to think about something else. Here is the explanation how to use this theory. Generally, please keep in mind that without thinking about these two other things, except of balance, except of valuability of the reward, it's not possible to motivate your subordinates. And the second theory, which we can to which we have to use in addition to expectancy theory, is equity theory. Equity theory states that this theory says that, okay, expectancy theory is okay, but we have to think not only all these three components, but everybody, every subordinates will compare his outcomes and his effort and outcomes of others and or rewards of other workers and effort of other workers. For example, if you see that if, let's speak about the situation, if you are a regional manager and your region is, for example, your company is selling goods to all regions of Ukraine, and you are responsible for Poltava region and another person is working with Sumy region. It's very close regions to populations, for example. And occasionally you have the information, you have got the information that the salary of this very manager is 20% higher than yours. So obligations are equal, but the salary of this person is 20% higher. What will be your reaction?
Surprised in a positive form.
Okay, surprised. What else? Who will add something?
Maybe something like angry.
Yes, I totally agree with you. What else? What will you do finally? What do you think?
I will ask why.
You will ask to increase your salary, am I right? Have I understood your idea?
No, firstly, I will ask why my salary is lower. And then if we work the same amount of, we are the same workers, then I will ask to increase my salary.
Okay, so firstly, you will ask to increase the salary, and if the situation will be the same, what will you do? If your supervisor say, okay, it's my decision, so it will be in future in the same way. What will you do, Arina?
Maybe I will leave the company, but it is like critical move. Like the last month, I will go away from the company, but it is the last one I will do.
Okay, but generally you will do something generally to this work. So general typical situation that somebody will ask to increase the reward, or in other words, maybe somebody will reduce his or her effort. The person could think like, okay, if my salary is lower, why should I work in the same conditions with other person? So there are two ways of using this theory of motivating. The first is that it must be transparent. It must be clear for everybody why somebody has bigger salary, because, for example, she has a bigger number of obligation, or how to use this theory in management. What do you think? The first, to make it totally transparent, and the second way. Keeping all salaries confidential. And in a lot, it is a situation in a lot of Ukrainian companies that it is not possible to discuss your salary with your peers. Okay. So today we spoke about two theories, two groups of theories of management. First group of theories are content theories. With the content theories, we spoke about Abraham Maslow, Friedrich Gersberg, and David McClellan theories, which all these theories work only with needs of your subordinates. But the second step of theories are process theories of motivation. These theories stated that every manager has not only to provide the reward, but he or she has to think about something else, about the fact that every objective must be attainable, about the fact that everybody must feel that if he or she completes the task, he will be rewarded. And equity theory adds to this statement that everything must be transparent within a company. Thank you for visiting this webinar. I'm listening to your questions.
No questions, I think.
Okay, thank you. Keep yourself. See you next Monday. Bye bye. Thank you for.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you for
Goodbye.
See you.
Thank
Bye
you for the
bye.
lecture. Bye.
Bye bye.